Hello and welcome to episode 21 of the Universally Epic Podcast, your go-to Universal Orlando trip planning podcast. I'm Jim Klein, along with Taylor Franklin. We are your hosts and travel agents for all things Universal. On today's show, Halloween Horror Nights speculation season is underway. We also discuss some very important news about some very important experiences. So, how you doing this week, Taylor?
I am so much better,
Okay,
considering I woke up this morning and we got version 1 of the speculation map.
that's great. Yeah, so the first thing we're going to talk about is Halloween Horror Nights. I guess it was on X, right? Like it came
Yeah.
out. Is that where you saw it?
Mhm.
Yeah, they released the first version of their speculation maps. And seeing how you're like the resident Halloween Horror Nights expert here, I'm going to let you take this over and you can go through the ins and outs. And I'm just going to ask you questions along the way because I'm probably like everyone else listening that might not know what you're talking about. So,
That's super fair. So, um, for starters, you asked me literally 2 seconds ago, and I told you I'd answer it here. Um, Ticket prices should be soon? Question mark. It really kind of depends on how early we actually start getting announcements. Um, I'm not sure when that's going to happen. It's still a little early for us to get announcements, but it wouldn't shock me if we were to start getting announcements here probably in the next like couple of weeks. Um, but usually they'll like announce the dates and then they'll give us the ticket pricing and all of that. And then they'll tell us exactly when that goes on sale. So it's still kind of up in the air. Not really sure when those are going to go on sale, but hopefully soon. And obviously, I'll let you know when they do.
yeah, of course.
But as of right now, we have no ticket pricing or anything like that. I'm going to shout them out because I live and swear by the people that make these speculation maps. Horror Night Nightmares. Love them to death. They always put out their speculation maps every year. There's usually 4 versions of them, and this is the very first one. I'm sure that you will probably put the map on the screen so people can kind of see what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I'll do that for everybody. Yeah, that sounds
As I kind
fair.
of go through this. We only have speculation for 5 houses, which are the IP houses. Obviously, not many people are going to be able to speculate on the original houses, but I do have some very quick thoughts as far as the original houses go, and the symbols that may or may not correlate to them. But kind of, I guess, without further ado, we'll start at the front of the park. Usually, that there is like a straightaway that happens right at the gates of Universal Studios, and that is usually our opening scare zone. So that's going to have um, the all of the previews and stuff for what's going to be in the scare zones or in the houses. It really kind of depends on what side Universal's going to fall on, because sometimes it's the houses, sometimes it's the scare zones that they represent in that opening scare zone, but it's not really a scare zone, it's more like a photo op.
Gotcha.
So the first of our little symbols that we got going on here is a sailboat, I think. I've seen a little bit of speculation. This is going to be an original house. It's not very common that they ever put an IP house at the very, very front of the park. And this is going to be located in the Minions Land area, kind of over by Rip Ride Rocket.
Okay.
Even though, funnily enough, on this speculation map, the Rip Ride Rocket is not on the speculation map, which I thought was really funny when I saw that this morning. It's not there because it'll be
Yeah, well,
closed,
it's
so
going
it's not
away,
there.
right? Yeah, it's so funny.
But I have seen some speculation on this. This could be an IP house. I'm not really thinking that it's going to be an IP house, but it would be interesting if it was going to be not necessarily the movie, which I don't know if you ever saw it, but you're not really a horror movie person. So there was a movie that came out a couple of years ago called The Last Voyage of the Demeter. And for the uninitiated, the Demeter is the ship that Dracula sailed on.
Okay.
So it could either be based off the movie or it could just be the ship that Dracula sailed on. There is heavy speculation that we're not going to get a Universal Monsters house this year because of Epic and Epic opening and Dark Universe in Epic.
Oh, okay. Okay, that kind of makes sense, I guess.
Yeah, I see. I think that it should. But I was
Is
talking this over
that
with a
more of a
coworker.
disappointment to like a hardcore HHN fan? Like, is that
It's a little,
like I hear it in your voice that it might not be like
it's a little
you're
sad
trying to encourage
because
it.
for the past 4 years that I've been going, we've had a Universal Monsters house every year.
Okay,
Um, Even when they took away the Monster Cafe, we still had a Universal Monsters house. But I don't think it would necessarily be the worst thing in the world. I do think that they should put a Universal Monsters house in HHN, even as just like a preview to get people to go to Dark Universe. But that's just me.
gotcha.
I was talking it over with a coworker earlier today, and he had brought up, honestly, the Voyage of the Last Demeter was actually his idea and not mine. So I will not take full credit for that. But he brought it up, and he was kind of like, it would be really cool if they did this, but what would be even cooler, because Universal, the way the Universal Monsters houses work is there's not really that much of a direct correlation to a movie. So if you're seeing like Frankenstein or Jekyll and Hyde, you're seeing more like, yes, this is the character, but we made our own story for them.
Gotcha.
So that way you
Okay.
can have things like the Wolfman in the same house with the Invisible Man, and
Okay.
it doesn't feel that far fetched. Um, he was like, now what would be cool is if we were doing the Voyage of the Last Demeter house, and instead of it being like, oh, he's like, leaving Transylvania for New York, he's actually leaving Universal Studios for Epic Universe.
Oh, nice.
And
Oh,
I
that
was
would,
like, that would be
yeah,
cute.
that's kind of cool. That's fun.
I don't know how possible that is, but I think it would be cute. Um, Moving on to that, I Holly's gonna text me about this one, what it's called also. There's like an amphitheater with the stage where they normally do all the live music and stuff.
Hmm.
Um, that is almost always, at least for the past 4 years that I've been going, it is almost always an IP house, and the symbol that we've got right there is a thumbs up. Now, the most commonly associated IP with a thumbs up symbol is actually Fallout.
Okay.
Um, Speculation kind of is leaning in the way of Fallout. There is another creator named Legacy, who is usually the one that kind of like spurs a lot of these rumors and stuff. And they had said at some point in time that instead of getting The Last of Us Part 2, which is what everybody thought we were going to get, it's actually going to be Fallout, or at least rumors would suggest that it could be Fallout. I think personally that would be a fantastic place to put the Fallout house. It's at the beginning of the park. It's pretty in the middle of everything. I think it would be neat, but um, who knows? um, the next symbol is like a bloody film reel. Now, this one needs to be taken with the biggest grain of salt because I am so scared that this is not going to happen. A lot of people are speculating that this could be one of two things. The first one is Ice Nine Kills. Ice Nine Kills is a rock band that is fantastic, but they are really, really known for having all of their music directly ties to a horror movie. So all of their music has to do with like Friday the 13th or Halloween or Scream or anything like that. But there is a naming convention that they've had for the past two albums that they put out. Welcome to the Silver Scream, or sorry, it's just called The Silver Scream. The second one is called Welcome to Horrorwood.
Okay.
Um, and they're supposed to be, according to other rumors in the music world, they're supposed to be putting out an album this year, a new album. So, assuming that they're following the same naming convention, the Bloody Film Reel would work. But the second one, and the one that I'm terrified to say out loud because I really want it to happen and I'm really scared it's not going to, is Scream.
Okay.
They pretty much every year since I have started going have had Scream speculated every year. We do this every year, and I really hope it is. I really would like for it to be, but as I don't know how much you know about the Scream franchise, but there's about 15 things they have to license individually
Yeah,
as
so
far as Scream goes.
I've seen the first Scream, and that's it. Like, so I'll give you that one. Like, I did see that. But yeah, that I'm assuming that would be a huge house, right? Like, if
Mhm.
like, is that what everybody wants? You think,
Yeah,
or yeah,
people have been asking for Scream for years.
yeah. And there's another movie coming out now, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, I saw that too. Yeah.
um, yeah, so it's been speculated for years, and every year something happens and it falls through because they have to license not only the movie from Spyglass Entertainment, they also have to license the ghost face mask, and it's really hard to get licensing for both of them.
Okay, that's interesting.
Yeah, so the movie doesn't actually own the rights to the ghost face mask
That's so
because
great.
prior to the movie, that mask was made, like, not for the movie. The ghost face mask was not for the
Oh,
movie.
okay.
It was just a mask that had gotten made and was in circulation, and then they picked it up for the movie, and then they were like, well,
That
actually, you have to pay us money
that
because
makes
that's ours and not yours.
wow. They
Yeah.
really lucked out, huh?
Hmm.
It's like Spirit Halloween, like made out like a bandit on.
I don't remember the name of the original company that owns the ghost face mask, but yeah, so they have to license that, and then they have to like go through all of the licensing that it takes to get like likenesses for characters and all of that. So Scream has always been up in the air. It's always speculated. It's always one of the first houses to get dropped from the speculation map. It's very, very sad. And but this year apparently the rumors and stuff are actually leaning a little bit more positively in Scream's case. I would assume because they're probably not doing the original Scream movies. They're probably doing it based off of the new movies that have come out. Um, so I could see people are like reaching a little bit because they're like, oh, there's 5 little things in the film reel, which means it's based on Scream 5. People will grab for anything.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I guess that's the fun of speculation, right? Like
Yeah.
hang on to any little thing.
Hmm. And it would be nice to have a kind of funny house there. So that actually is in the same place that
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Ghostbusters was last year. So it is in kind of like that back area over by Race Through New York with Jimmy Fallon. And then we move on to the next symbol, which is it's like a little demon head and wings and scythes and a cityscape. Um, Now this one also, uh, it feels possible, but based on the location of the house, I don't know how possible this is. Normally, this is a original house. I don't think there was a. Oh no, I guess Insidious was there last year. So this is the same place Insidious was last year. Um, so actually, it very well could be an IP house for sure. Um, Though, okay, so last year Hollywood got the sequel house to The Weekend, which is a house that we had a couple of years back.
Hmm.
They got the sequel house. It was incredibly well received. Apparently, it was amazing. I was really hoping that Orlando was going to get it, so I didn't watch any walkthroughs of that house because I didn't want to be spoiled. Um, but apparently, that symbol that is right there for the weekend is actually, I guess, it involves like 3 or 4 different songs in that
Oh,
symbol.
okay. Oh, that's
So
interesting.
yeah, because like the little like demon head is one song, and then the wings are another song, the cityscape's another song, and the scythes are another song.
Oh, okay. So you think
I don't.
it's like a follow up to that house?
Yeah, I think it's the sequel house that Hollywood had last year.
Gotcha. Okay.
But I actually, yeah, and it's not on the Hollywood version of the speculation map, so it would be interesting if we did in fact get the sequel to the Weekend House. But that's what is there. That's what we're thinking is going there. The next one is a little magnifying with a magnifying glass with a ghost in it. Um, this one I haven't really seen a whole lot of people speculate. They also said that this one could be Scream, because of the little ghost and the magnifying glass. Because people are like, oh well, it's owned by Spyglass Entertainment, so this is like a vague symbol.
I
Except for
did
that's
see
a
that on
magnifying glass and not a spyglass.
yeah, I did see that on TikTok. Yeah, somebody making that reference.
Yeah, and while that would be really interesting, I actually think that it very well could be. Um, there was a house for in at HHN 30 called Legendary Truth, and it was like a detective noir. He was like a PI that investigated like supernatural things.
Okay, so that fits.
Yeah, and it was like case files. That was the main title, case files. And the original house was like kind of like eldritch horror, as opposed to like ghosts and stuff. Um, so I thought it would be cool if that's what it was, but that's not what I. That is a Taylor speculation and not really an anyone else speculation.
Okay, you're allowed to speculate too.
um, and that one, I mean, we'll see. Time will tell. I think that would be really cool, but we'll see. The next one is one I know everybody's gonna go crazy for. The next one is speculated. It is a security camera. The next one is speculated to be Five Nights at Freddy's.
Okay,
Yeah.
I've
I,
heard, I saw that as well. Yeah.
yeah. I personally would be really excited for Five Nights at Freddy's house. That is in the yeah, that is in the Fast and Furious queue.
Okay.
Um, so that would be a relatively big house that had Chucky in it a couple years ago, and this year it had what was in Fast and Furious this year? Major Suites. So sometimes it's an IP house, sometimes it's a original house, but it is a relatively big house, so it would be interesting to have Five Nights at Freddy's there. Um, Five Nights at Freddy's was also speculated last year, and it didn't happen. But this year, the second movie is coming out, and Universal does kind of like to try to do like off years.
Yeah.
So we would
Gotcha.
get like the first Five Nights at Freddy's house this year, and then we'd probably see a second one in a couple of years. Um,
Gotcha. Okay.
yeah. Um, so the next little thing, there's like a little purple mark on the speculation map, and that is obviously for Nightmare Fuel. That is a dance show. It's like a pyrotechnics and like acrobatic, and they do a lot of dancing, and it's a whole lot. Sensory overload, the dance show.
Okay. Now, is
It's
that like just
cool.
run throughout the night, or like
Yeah.
are the show times? Okay.
There are show times. It does run select times through the night, but it does have like multiple show times.
Gotcha.
So it's not like it's only like, oh, it's only going to play like once or twice. Like it'll play through most of the night. I think their last show is usually at like midnight or something like that.
Okay.
I have never been to a Nightmare Fuel show. I really want to. I really want to. So hopefully this year I get to go to Nightmare Fuel. We tried to go last year, but they were at capacity
Oh
when
wow.
we
So
got in
it's like
line.
more popular things at Halloween Horror
Yeah.
Nights.
hmm
Okay.
hmm
Okay.
It does cause like a really severe bottleneck, though. Though Universal has tried to mitigate it a lot by like moving locations of houses and things like that. But it does create a pretty bad bottleneck because usually there's a house exit right there, like right
Right.
next to where they exit for the
This
show.
is this is over where like Fear Factor Live
Yes,
was.
this is the Fear Factor stage. Next is it's like a little book with some snowflakes. Could not tell you what that is. Nobody is speculating on that really. I thought it would be interesting if we got another Scary Tales house, and it was like the Ice Queen.
Okay.
But that was the most I could come up with for that one. I have no idea what that could be, and apparently neither does anybody else. I have not seen anybody else speculate on this house. Um, then there are like trash bags, I
Hmm.
guess.
That's what they look
Um,
like to me.
yeah, people are speculating that this is Terrifier. Um, I don't know about that. Um, I think Terrifier would be super cool. It would be obviously extremely welcome and extremely well received at the event. People would love it. I just don't know if that is enough. I don't know. I don't know. The trash bags are a very very vague symbol, so like I don't know. I don't know. And also Terrifier would be kind of hard to do at a PG-13 event. Cuz HHN is a PG-13 event, not a rated R event.
Okay. Yeah, I've
Um
heard of Terrifier, and
yeah, it's a
actually the
scary
radio
clown.
I listened to had like the director on, and
Mhm.
yeah, they talk about it and how pretty graphic it is. So
It's graphic, but there it's not like this would be the first time that Universal would do an extremely graphic house. They had like a series of houses of God forever ago. I don't even remember when this house stopped being a series of houses. But it was called Body Collectors, and it was pretty gory from what I understand. I never saw those houses because I was not going to HHN at the time that it was around. But I heard that it was pretty gory, and I would assume, um, as far as I am aware and of what the HHN podcasts and stuff that I listen to, um, have said Body Collectors was pretty gory. Um, so it's not the first time that Universal would be doing something that would be on par with like what we know to be Terrifier. Um, but I just don't know how possible that is if they're already like spending a ton of money on Fallout, or depending on if we actually get Scream, they're going to spend a ton of money on Scream. And I feel like while Terrifier is still very popular, it's not like it's not popular. It is still kind of niche. And I just don't know if they would spend that money when in the same year that they have to spend money on Five Nights at Freddy's and Scream and Fallout. It just
yeah,
feels like
yeah,
a whole lot
too much. Yeah.
to do. Yeah. Um, the next two are both houses that nobody has been speculating on. One of them is like a robot or an astronaut. I
Oh,
don't.
see, I thought. See, I'm looking at it. It looks like Mega Man. Remember Mega Man? I
It does look like Mega Man. I said that when I saw that this morning.
was like, that looks just like Mega Man.
I was
Like,
like,
what are they
"Ooh, we could get a Mega Man house," and Noah was like, "We're not getting a Mega Man house."
doing? That's the first thing I thought of.
um, my coworker that I obviously spent a very long time this morning talking about this with, was thinking that maybe it could be Alien, but Disney owns Alien, so that's probably not going to be a thing.
Okay.
Um, um, or I don't see, and I don't know. I don't know. He said Terminator, and I was like, that's not what in Terminator looks like
Yeah,
that.
no, that doesn't look. No.
Um, so I don't know about that. I have been dubbing the one with like the eye patch and the chain, just zombie pirates. That's what I've been calling it in my
Okay,
brain.
makes sense.
um,
I can see that.
yeah, and with that, I only have one more thing I want to talk about, because it's the only other thing that's really interesting, that I was really hoping for, and I'm really excited to see it on the speculation map. It does look like we are getting the return of the Lagoon show, and
Okay.
I'm so
It's right,
excited.
right? Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, that would be
Okay.
the purple dot that's like right in the center.
So what
Um,
have they had in the past for the Lagoon show?
so it's normally like, think for my Disney people, it's normally like what they do in Epcot. So like it's like a water show, and there's like projections
Fountain.
on the
Oh,
buildings. Yeah.
okay.
There's normally like a ton of rigging that goes into it. Sometimes there's pyrotechnics, not all the time though. Um, but they put all kinds of like projections and stuff everywhere, and they tell whatever story is supposed to be the Lagoon show. Unfortunately, due to one of the hurricanes that passed through Florida, it destroyed the rigging for the Lagoon show. So we haven't had the Lagoon show in quite some time. But I have heard from a little birdie that at one point in time, they were testing drones for HHN specifically.
Okay.
So It could actually be like a water and drone show, and I couldn't be more excited.
Yeah, that'd be
I think it
cool.
would be super fun. They did drones for, I believe it's called Cinesational.
Yes. Now,
Um,
wasn't there like an issue at? I don't know if it wasn't at Universal, right? But like one fell out of sky, hurt like a little kid. Not at I don't think it was at
and it
Universal.
wasn't at Universal, but yes,
But yeah,
that is something that I heard about.
right. And that was recent. And do they still use the drones for that show? I haven't seen
I think
much
so.
about. Yeah. Okay.
I think so. The drones, from what I understand, are over the water, so they're not like actually
Gotcha.
in in the crowds of
Over
people.
the
I
crowd. Yeah, that
believe
would
they're
make sense.
over the
Yeah.
water.
Okay.
Um, I've only seen a video of Cinesational. I have not, unfortunately, seen it in person. Um, but I'm really excited because that means that we could get the return of the Lagoon show, and I'm really, really hoping, because, like I said, we don't normally go to Nightmare Fuel, and also it's a really good time for you to go to houses. Just a little pro tip, because everybody's going to be standing in the middle of the park watching the Lagoon show. Go to the houses. Go to the houses. Go to the houses. They'll do the
Nice.
drone show again. They do it a couple of times throughout the night. They'll do it again. Go to the
Nice.
houses.
There you go. Yeah, that's a good tip.
But with that, that is the speculation map. Hollywood has a couple of different things. I've never really been to Hollywood, so I don't really understand the layout of Hollywood.
Mhm.
As far as HHN goes, I was an annual pass holder for Hollywood when I was younger, so I know the layout of the park, but I don't really know how much that goes into.
Yeah, it looks like
Um,
there's a few that are like the same, and then
yeah.
I'm looking at the map now. It looks like there's a Harry Potter one, doesn't it look like that? Is that what that is?
Oh,
That's
the hats. Uh,
a scarecrow. Is that what that is?
yeah,
I'm like Harry Potter.
yeah, it
Huge
does. It's
Potter fan.
probably scarecrows.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking now that I said it. Yeah, I sound like an
Yeah.
idiot. This is why I don't talk about HHN because I don't know anything about horror films.
No, you don't sound like an idiot. Be
No.
nice to yourself. But yeah, there are a couple of things just to point it out. Uh Both coasts do share the thumbs up symbol, the security camera symbol, the bloody film reel, the magnifying glass with the ghost, and the trash bags. That doesn't really mean much. That they could be IPs, they could be original houses that they share. What I do think is interesting, though, is that they don't share that symbol that they were talking about for the weekend. Orlando and Hollywood do not share that symbol, which would make sense if it was the weekend because they had it last year.
Oh, gotcha. So they're kind of alternating type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
All right,
but
nice.
that's all I got for
All
you.
right, so
Any
version
questions?
one, right? Version one of this,
Mm-hmm.
and you said there's about 4 versions that come out before
Yep.
we actually get to know what's now. When they release these houses, right? Do they release them all at once, or is it like more of like a rollout where it's like building up anticipation? How
So
does that
it's
work?
normally a rollout. So normally we get version one of the speculation map. They let people speculate for about a month, and then we normally get a second version. Now, the difference between these 4 versions, the first version is almost always all of the scare zones are unknown. The Nightmare Fuel show is unknown, as far as the title goes of the Nightmare Fuel show, which is why we know it's Nightmare Fuel, so they put the fire, but
Mhm.
it's unknown for all intents purposes right now. And then all of the symbols are unknown unless we were to get an early house announcement like we did when Chucky was coming to the event. We knew that the night that the year prior closed. We knew Chucky was coming that night. We don't have any early houses that got announced yet. I did hear a little bit through the grapevine that there's a potential that we might be getting an announcement this week. Um, so we'll definitely update everybody if that comes
Okay.
out. I'll hop
Yeah.
on TikTok and I'll let everybody know. There's the potential that we could be getting an announcement this week, but like I said, it is very early. Still, we're still a couple weeks out from when actual announcement season would really kind of kick off. So version 1 is always symbols and the unknowns. Version 2, we might get a guess at the names for a couple of them. Version 3 is when we start getting actual names for things.
Okay.
It's not always that those names are correct, but a lot of the time they are like, oh, okay, yeah, sure, this could be it. And they're like pretty close. So like if it was like the ice cream man or whatever, it could be like, oh, like the soft serve truck or whatever, and it would be like
Yeah,
close but not quite
yeah,
there.
close. Yeah, yeah, okay.
And then version 4 is usually where we have the solid names. We have it's more of a speculation on location of the house than it is actually just like the house itself.
There it is, speculation season starting up right away. So not bad. So let's take a break then, and then when we get back, we'll talk about VIP tours. All right, so stay there, and we'll be right back. The Universally Epic Podcast is brought to you by the Magic for Less Travel, a Universal you preferred travel agency. If you're looking to plan your next Universal Orlando vacation, let's do it together. As certified Universal specialists, we can help guide you through the planning process with helpful tips and tricks along the way. The best part, all our travel planning services are free to you.
When you book your Universal Orlando vacation with us, you qualify for an exclusive booking bonus offer from the Magic for Less Travel, a $25 Universal gift card for all vacation packages over $2,500. Ready to start planning? Email the podcast at universallyepicpodcast@gmail.com and start planning your next epic Universal vacation today.
All right, so now we're going to start talking about two things. First, real quick, express passes were just announced for Epic Universe. How they're going to do that. Let's just quickly go through the express pass and how they're using it for Epic Universe. In the other two parks, you can get unlimited or regular express pass. The unlimited, you can go on as many times as you want. The regular is you use it for like one per ride per day. And it looks like Epic Universe, that's the only one that you're going to be able to get, right? Like, so you're not going to be able to get the unlimited at Epic Universe. But one interesting thing that they are introducing are these like multi-day express passes, which I think are pretty great. You could get up to 5-day express passes. So you have 5-day tickets that you purchase, and you want to add express passes to it. The 5-day express passes start at $59 per person per day. Not bad. I don't think that's too bad considering that a regular express pass can cost up to like $200 a day for like a single day. So like that's not bad. Um, and you can use that throughout your stay. So like there's 3 days, 4 days, 5 days. Obviously there's less as well. But I thought that was a kind of a cool option that people can look into. So that's the express pass. So express passes, we know what they are. It's you get on the ride once per day, and that's only for this. The unlimited you can still purchase for the other two parks, Universal Studios and Islands of Adventure. Just Epic is not going to have that unlimited option. Oh, there are 3 rides right at Epic that are not going to have express. Is Ministry of Magic, Minecart Madness, and Super Nintendo World, and Isle of Berk. We have Dragon Racers Rally. From what I hear, it seems like it's a capacity issue, I guess. Right? Like
That makes
so,
sense.
yeah. So that's what I hear. Um, Everything else, it's not bad. Not everything has to have Express Pass, and it is what it is. Those are the 3 that you won't be able to. The Ministry of Magic is kind of a bummer that it won't. You know, so like that's one that I was like, eh. And also the Minecart Madness, but the Minecart Madness when they talk about capacity issues, what is it? Only like 4 in a car, right? 4 to 6
Yeah.
people. Yeah, so it's I can see that. So that's the Express Pass moving forward.
I like that they're doing that and they're not just like, yep, there's an express pass for everything. Good luck, people in standby.
Yes. Yep. Exactly. Yeah, you're right. You're right. Because and let's be honest, the Express Pass does slow down the standby lines quite a bit when you're especially now they're really pushing these express and it makes sense that you're going to push the express for like a new park, right? And
Yeah, definitely.
I get it, but it will slow down the standby line significantly when they're pushing it this hard, this express pass. Um, so then the next thing I wanted to talk about is the VIP tours. So they also announced VIP tours for Epic Universe. Now they already have VIP tours for Universal Studios and Islands of Adventure. So we're just going to run through what that actually entails. Um, so there's two types, right? So they have the VIP experience and then the private VIP experience, right? So one's like a group tour, one's like private, like it's just
Mhm.
you and whoever's coming along with you. The VIP, the non-private one, you have a choice between a two-park, one-day VIP experience and a one-park, one-day VIP experience. Difference: the two-park is a 7-hour tour, where the one-park is a 4-hour tour. The two-park, you get a minimum of 10 rides and attractions, and then the one park you get at least 6 rides and or attractions. You do get breakfast and lunch included in those. That's the group tours. Let me bring it up here.
I believe they have like snacks available and stuff too.
Yeah, you get like little things. You get little behind the scene things. You do get a lanyard.
I want
You
one
also
so bad.
yeah, it is nice. You know,
I want one so
it's
bad.
it's cool when you get something like that because it's like, yeah, you know it. Yeah, I got it. Yeah, I got the VIP. Yeah, you like frame that up on your wall. You know, you do get complimentary valet parking for the day if you're on a VIP tour, and then you get express um pass for the rest of the day after you're done with your tour, but not unlimited for these for the non-private ones. It's just the regular express pass. That's also another perk, right? So you're going to already go on a bunch of rides and attractions, but afterwards you can still continue to go on rides without, like, so your money does go a little farther than just the tour, right?
Hmm.
Now the private ones. Let's get into these private ones. So the private ones is everything we just talked about, right? For the group. However, there's a little bit more behind the scenes in this one, and then you also get um, your complimentary breakfast and lunch, and you get dinner. So you have all 3 meals, right, for your day.
As you
Also,
should. For
yeah,
that
exactly.
price, as you should.
We're gonna get to the price at the end here because this is for a certain type of person, right? Like we
Hmm.
were, we were talking about this earlier. This is not for everyone, and that's okay. But you're paying for an experience, and you're paying quite a bit for an experience. So
Hmm.
you get to build your own itinerary. So the group tours, it's kind of like planned out by Universal where you're going and stuff. But like on the private ones, you get to choose like what rides you go on, what attractions you go on. After your tour, you get unlimited express pass for the remainder of the day. So go on as much as you want, as in all the parks. You do get a 3-day photo package also included, which starts on the first day of your tour. They try to add a bunch of these little perks into it. There are a few different options that you can get. So private tours for the studios, Islands of Adventure, and Epic Universe. You have a 1 park 1 day private tour. You have a
Hmm.
2 park 1 day, a 3 park 2 day, and a 3 park 3 day. Let's cut to the chase here. Let's go right to the pricing. So I priced out for a okay for group tours. You're looking at from like $400 to $600 a person.
Hmm.
Okay, so that's the group tour. So you're thinking, I'm like, oh, let me see how much the private tour is. But maybe double, right? Yeah, double would make sense. No, no, it's not double. I priced out a day in July for 1 day, and it was $4,500 a person. That was for either Islands of Adventure or Universal Studios. Epic Universe for 1 day private tour was $5,500 a person. Listen, I'd love to sell you guys this. So if you're listening to this and you want the best experience ever, reach out to Universally Epic Podcast at gmail.com. We will book you tomorrow. Okay?
Yeah.
but, but, like I said, this is for a unique individual, right? Somebody
Hmm.
that has the money and really wants that next level service and doesn't want to be stressed out at all,
Right.
right? Take all the stress away. You're going to experience a brand new park with breakfast, lunch, and dinner included. You get unlimited express pass. You can go on as much as you want in that day. It's
Mhm.
just it's just that level of service that people are willing to pay for, obviously. Because
Right.
if they weren't willing to pay for it, they wouldn't have it out there, right? People are buying these things,
Mhm.
so I would love to go on one. I'm not shelling out $5,500 for birthday for one day, for one day,
I'm having heart palpitations. Jesus.
right? And we try to be honest here, right? We
Mhm.
are not, we do sell this, right? This
Of
is this
course.
is part of our jobs, and this is us letting you know that it's out there, that this is an option for you to book. But as regular normal people, it's a sticker shock when you first look at it. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
That's it's a lot. However, that being said, would I love to do one? Of course I would. Of course.
100%.
Yeah.
Oh my
I want
god.
it would be the best. Oh my
Would be
god.
amazing.
And I would take
Oh,
full advantage of that food. Imagine
if
Epic
any
Universe, you get all this and the food is included. Are you kidding? They supposedly the breakfast is like a buffet, and
I
like,
heard.
could you imagine Epic Universe buffet breakfast? I would just go to town. Oh boy, I don't think there'd be enough bacon and sausage on that buffet for me. It would be I would enjoy myself quite a bit.
I'm sure you would.
Oh my god, yeah, why wouldn't you, right? And then go right on Stardust Racers after breakfast.
Oh boy.
Yeah, they'll
Over
just
adventurous.
yeah, do everything. Of course, yeah. You're only doing this once, right? You might as well do it right. So
And probably never go to anything ever again because you're going to be paying that off for the rest of your life.
you're probably right. You're probably right. Yeah, it is what it is. It's like I said, we offer it to guests that we know, right? We're not offering this to the guests that's it's not we can offer it to whoever we want, to be honest with you, right? But if that budget conscious person, which is I don't know about you, but probably 80% of my guests that
Mine
go,
too.
right?
Yeah.
It's because things are tight, right? So they want to get the most for their money. That being said, the 20%, listen, you do you, man. If you could afford it, if I could afford it, I would do it. 100%.
100%.
There's no way I wouldn't do it if I could just shell that money out. That'd be great. I would love
Yeah.
it. You know? So to each their own. Um, that being said, it's gonna be amazing. Whoever does that, oh, especially at Epic. Especially at
Hmm.
Epic. It's just getting walked around, walked right onto rides, priority access to everything.
Yeah.
Amazing. And then the behind the scenes stuff. Could you imagine going through Epic and you seeing some behind the scenes stuff at Epic? Like, that's awesome. That'd be unbelievable.
If they
Unbelievable.
can get me to the front of the line for meeting Toothless,
Oh,
I'm fine with
doesn't
it.
that look great? That looks so cool.
He
Yeah,
looks so good.
Isle of Burke is, I'm telling you, it's going to be great. Dark Universe is
Listen.
probably up there. Like, Monsters Unchained is getting unbelievable reviews.
Hmm.
The but Isle of Burke is just doing it right. It looks so cool, and
Yeah.
like Toothless meet and greet, and all those people with the pictures, right? They have and here's the thing. So Disney does like the photo pass, and like they really do a good job at selling that thing, right? The
Definitely.
memory maker is as
Hmm.
what they call it. Universal is doing a great job right now with these like portal photos of like the team member previews.
We are.
Absolute great job with this, and it's putting into people's head like I need that picture when I go to Epic Universe, right? And it is
I need that
phenomenal.
picture.
Yes, I need the picture of my family like petting Toothless at Isle of Burke. Like what?
Right? Oh,
Right? Like it looks
it's
so
so
cool.
cute.
It looks so cool. So like I never even thought to get the photo pass at Universal. But now I'm like, yeah, but if I get that photo and then I get, could you imagine the other ones, right? They're
Hmm.
bunch of different meet and greets, right? Okay, I need you to actually do this. So I saw like in Dark Universe. I know we're going. Well, we're done with the VIP tours, so let's just talk right now.
The, we all had culture shock, sticker
Yeah,
shock, all
yes,
of the shocks.
we'd love to sell you, but okay. They they released like some meet and greets, right? One is the
Mhm.
Invisible Man. Now
Mhm.
I'm not familiar with the Invisible Man. So what's going to be there? Just nothing. Like nobody's going to be there. Like just it's just going to be
Okay.
an empty platform, and you just take a picture of nobody. Guy with no like just clothes and nothing, no face.
Oh, I'm not laughing
I know
at
you
you.
should have
I
Googled
am
it before
laughing
you
because
looked
that's
at
such a common question where everyone's like,
it.
what are we going to do about the Invisible
Yeah,
Man?
what are we doing?
No. There is a common depiction of the Invisible Man where he is wrapped in bandages and he's got like a bathrobe on and he's got sunglasses on.
Like Weekend at Bernie's? You ever see that movie?
Kinda. Kinda. Not quite, but kinda. Same,
Just-
similar vein.
okay.
But he's like wrapped in like white bandages, and then he's got like black sunglasses, and then like a red bathrobe, and that's a
Okay.
pretty common depiction of the Invisible Man when he's not obviously invisible.
Yeah. Oh, all
So,
right.
yeah,
So that makes more sense to me now. I'm like,
yeah.
what? Doesn't make any sense to me. Like, but I guess I could have just Googled what the Invisible Man was, but like,
Would have been
just
the
kind of one of those
actual
things. I'm like,
funniest thing
okay, that's kind of
Universal could
weird,
have
but
done.
like moved on in my life,
Mhm.
and then I'm like, oh wait, now that we're talking about meet and greets, like go from Toothless to the Invisible Man, that's kind of a jump, but yeah, and then like Toad and like
Oh, I'm so excited for Toad.
yeah, looks
I
awesome.
think we're
Looks
gonna be
great.
the same height. I'm
Yeah,
so excited.
I might have made a joke about that in a previous, but that's okay. We're
Yeah,
gonna
you
move on.
did. It's
Yeah, I
okay.
did. I did. Sorry. Sorry. Sorry, but not sorry.
You're not
Um,
sorry.
no. Moving forward, PhotoPass might be a great option for people
Oh,
that are
definitely.
going to like like I said, never thought of it. Never, never, never even thought of it.
Mm-mm.
And now I'm like, yeah, I want all the meet and greets at Epic Universe because they're coming out with some great, great characters.
You can meet
And
Donkey Kong.
yeah, yeah, it's gonna be awesome. This is gonna be so much fun. And like, and you're telling me you're gonna stand up there and just take a picture with your phone. I want one with like the portal behind it and everything.
Yeah,
It'll be
like
so
the
much.
sparklies on it.
You're just gonna see it all over social media. And you're just gonna get jealous. That's it. That's
I'm
all.
already jealous.
I know. These team members. I heard that like 600 team members got fired or or promoted to guest as they called it because this team member
I
previous.
love promoted to guests. It's
Yeah, it
actually
is
one of
very
my
funny.
favorite
Very
things
funny
in the
term.
world. Um,
Yeah,
a
because there'd
word
be
to the wise, dear listeners. If you get invited to an event and they tell you no, we all need to be adults about that. And we need to say, you're right. You said no. I understand the word no. So I'm going to do the thing you did. I'm not going to do the thing that you told me not to do.
yeah, yeah. It is stupid. It is just so dumb. We talked about this. I don't know if it was last episode, or the episode before, but shame on the cast member, the team member to like bring in somebody that they know is an influencer or wannabe influencer or
Yeah,
whatever it is, and they just broke the rules. They broke the
I
rules, and I'm just
honestly, and I understand that we have a responsibility as one travel agents and as two content creators now. I mean, we're 21 episodes into
yeah,
um, being
exactly.
content creators, which is a weird thing to say still, but
Very-
like we have a responsibility as, and obviously we're small. It's not like we're massive content creators, but we have a responsibility to follow the rules of the places that we are invited to. You are invited to these places. And like, shame on the cast members, but honestly, shame on the influencers that did this. Those
Yeah,
tickets were directly tied to the cast members' names. And it is really unfortunate that because you couldn't handle yourself like an adult, you
yeah,
just cost someone their job.
yeah,
And for a lot of people, Universal is the dream job. And
yeah.
they absolutely should have had a little bit more control, but how much can you control someone who like it could potentially be on the opposite end of the park from you and you would be none the wiser?
Yeah, no, you're 100% right. You're 100%
Yeah.
right. It's so unfortunate. And I've seen people go to Epic, team members go to Epic, go
Hmm.
online and say, "Hey, it's awesome. It's awesome."
Hmm.
They're allowed to do that. They're allowed to
Yeah.
say, "Oh, my favorite land was this." Like, they're
Hmm.
allowed to do. They just ask for no photos, no videos. That's it.
You can, and they can even post the ones that they post, like, or that they get, like, of the portals or of the meet and greets and
Exactly.
things like that. There are things that you are allowed to show off, but things like ride videos, walking through the park, things like that are just absolutely not allowed. There's an embargo because
Yep.
they want people to be surprised when they walk into the park for the very first time. And we are uh almost 2 months out from it opening. Wait,
Less
wait a
than two.
little bit longer.
Yeah. Yep. Now, I'm assuming when like AP previews start, you think they're still gonna have that strict of a no, right? Like, so it's once AP previews start, it's just really the team members they don't want sharing this.
Yeah.
And so like AP previews is going to be like general public almost, so I could see
Yeah.
more and more coming out of that. If you don't want to see it, don't, keep scrolling, I guess, right?
Hmm.
That's at that point. But that's not going to be until the beginning of May, I would imagine.
Yeah, I still don't think we have dates for the annual pass
No,
holder previews.
no, they haven't come out yet, so
Yeah.
we'll
I've been
see.
keeping my eye out because my annual pass is on my lanyard over there.
There you go. Yeah.
I pay for this thing monthly. I
Yeah,
need to
there
go
you
to
go.
Epic Universe.
Yeah. So you want to wrap this one up?
Yeah, we've been here for about an hour now.
Yeah, I know it went kind of quick. So, all right. So, like, follow, and subscribe to Universally Epic Podcast on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. Please leave us a rating and review on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Also, join the Universally Epic Podcast community group on Facebook. This episode has been brought to you by the Magic of West Travel. If you have any Universal Orlando trip planning questions or are looking to book your next trip, email us at universallyepicpodcast@gmail.com. And like always, have an epic week, everybody. I have to cut this out, but I just was like thinking about that as I was saying. I'm like, am I wrong? No, I'm not wrong. I'm not wrong.
Well, we needed
So
one blooper.
yeah, right. Yeah, I'm not wrong.
Things were going a
Um,
little too well.
oh, what is that called? Dragon flyers? What is that? Oh man, see now we have multiple bloopers. I don't understand.
I don't know how I got through that entire speculation map with, like, no issue.
YouTube, please leave us a rating oh man, I haven't messed this up in weeks. All right, like,
It's
follow, and
been so
subscribe.
long.
I know it has. Like, follow, and subscribe to the University Epic Podcast on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. Oh, what is going on right now? What's going on?
Well, it's 11:04 p.m.
Okay, ready? Ugh, that was rough ending.